Okay, so here's example 1 from skill 3.6. This is if we're given a graph. And notice that the graph, I intentionally picked this one because both our y-intercept and our x-intercepts are a little bit unclear. But for everything, we always want to start with the vertex coordinate. So we'll see the vertex coordinate is here at -7, 6, -7, comma 6. Kind of like this vertex coordinate. All right. So that tells me that I'm going to do y is equal to some slope. We'll figure it out in a sec, times the absolute value of x plus 7. Remember, we always flip our sign, our x sign, plus 6. Now to figure out slope, I'll kind of change it to a nice purple here. See how we're going down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? That's going to be our top number, but it's down, so it's negative. And then we go left one and right one, like this. And if we continued 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I went a little too far. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and right one once again. So our slope is technically -5/1, but you don't actually have to write this over 1, so you can just kind of leave it as -5 is our slope. Now, to find the y-coordinate, it's not on here, but once I have the equation, everything comes into place. All right, so let's talk about part C. Remember that when I have the y-coordinate or the y-intercept, it's always going to be my x is 0 and then some value, right? Like this. We need to calculate this value. Well, I can use my equation to calculate that. So I would say y equals -5 times the absolute value of 0 plus 7 plus 6. And then I just calculate this. Y is equal to -5, absolute value of 7 plus 6. Y is equal to -5 times the absolute value of 7 is just 7 plus 6. Y is equal to -35 plus 6. Y is equal to -29. So my y-intercept is 0, -29. Like that. I'll do my x-intercepts here in pink. And we do basically the same thing for the x-intercepts. I'll scroll down even more. This is D. Now, usually in this case, we can actually even see that we have 2, and it's going to be like -6 point something right here, right? -6 point something and -8 point something. We don't know exactly what that is. So we need to calculate it using the equation. So here, once again, I'm going to use the same thing, and we're going to have 2 of them. But I would say my y in this case is 0 is equal to -5 times the absolute value of x plus 7 plus 6. I'm going to make sure I wrote that right. Right? Yep. And then we're just solving for, now we're just solving for x. So we do -6 minus 6, -6 is equal to -5 times the absolute value of x plus 7. Divide by -5, divide by -5. And you could use a decimal. I might even actually use a decimal. So I get 6/5 is just 1.2 is equal to the absolute value of x plus 7. And then remember, this kind of splits into 2. And this equals 1.2 is equal to x plus 7. And 1.2 is equal to -x minus 7, right? We just take what's inside our absolute value and make it positive and negative. -7, -7, so 1.2 minus 7 is, 1 minus 7 is -6. 1.2 minus 7 is -5.8 is equal to x. And let's make sure that that seems reasonable. Yeah, -5.8, because almost 6. And then here we would do +7, and we get 8.2 is equal to -x divided by -1 divided by -1. X is equal to -8.2. So those are my 2 x coordinates. So I would say my x-intercept coordinates are -5.8, 0, and -8.2, 0, like that. The line of symmetry is just going to go through my vertex. So here, if I do that in green, that's like this line here. Notice it's going through -7, and it's a vertical line, so it's just x equals -7, like that. And then my domain is probably one of the easiest ones. It's always just going to be -infinity to infinity. And the range, in this case, we remember we always do lowest y, comma, highest y. My lowest y is -infinity, because it's just going to kind of keep going down forever and ever. So -infinity. And that always goes with the parentheses. My highest y in this case is going to be right here at 6. It's the y value of my vertex. Right? And so I would just replace my highest y with 6. In this case, we include the 6 because, once again, that vertex is part of the graph. And so 6 is part of my range. So I put a bracket there. And that's it.